The interdisciplinary panel show pitting STEM professors against humanities professors over students' favorite subject, pop culture. Can they hold out, or are they just too academic to win first place? We'll find out. I'm your host, Nick Telep, here to guide you and our fair professors on a tour of news and culture. The rules are simple for round one. I will ask a question and both teams will say buzz when they have an answer. You know, because we couldn't afford real buzzers, unfortunately. If you're correct, your team gets 2 points. If you're incorrect, the other team gets a chance to steal. But if you make me laugh, you get a consolation point redeemable for nothing, unfortunately. But don't worry too much about the points. They're like life after love. I really don't think they're strong enough. But first, let's get time to know our contestants. Dr. Shapiro, introduce yourself, please.
I'm Mary Shapiro. I teach linguistics. I have 2 teenage children, so I hope I've absorbed some pop culture, but I guess we'll see.
Do you know what EDM is?
No idea.
Great. Perfect. Let's move on to Dr. Goggin. How are you today, sir?
I'm okay. Mike Goggin. I teach physics, and I have 2 slightly older kids. Still haven't absorbed much pop culture from them, I don't think.
All right. You're a physics professor, correct?
Yes.
Does that mean you know a lot about how sports and things move?
Yeah, I should,
All right.
In
but I
theory.
don't watch TV.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to move to the first round of questions. Let's just go ahead and jump right in. People love reboots, especially when it comes to old school cartoons and movies. What long-running cartoon series is getting its new live-action movie? And for a bonus point, what is the plot twist of the movie?
Buzz?
Dr. Shapiro.
I'm going to guess ScoobyDoo.
You are correct!
Oh,
It is Scooby-Doo!
And the plot twist, I'm going to guess that they don't pull somebody's face off at the end?
I don't know if that's the plot twist, but that's not the one we
That
had
would
listed.
be a good one, though, right? Because they
It's-
always did.
No, they did,
did,
which I assume would be very painful if they got the wrong guy.
Yeah, live action wouldn't work so well.
So the twist is that it's the leading ladies, Daphne and Velma, before they met Fred, Shaggy, or Scooby in high school.
I might have to check that out.
Yes, sounds quite
not heard of
interesting.
that.
Do they actually have a talking dog in the live action version?
Well, it's before they met Scooby, unfortunately.
Oh, well, then I won't check it out.
yes.
If there's no Scooby, there's just no point to Scooby-Doo, right?
I
mean,
have
They've
the
already done that, a live-action Scooby-Doo.
well, that's true.
I
It
have
wasn't
the
very good.
dumbest dog in the world at home.
No.
So I feel like if they got that dog to talk,
We should get your dog and my dog in a competition because I think my dog
Exactly.
would take your dog for dumbest dog.
All right, let's move on to question 2. Dr. Goggin, hopefully your sports physics knowledge comes in handy here. March Madness is one of the most popular collegiate tournaments in the world, and every March, basketball fans get excited and make their own brackets. But what are the teams in the Final Four? I'll give you a hint. There are 4 of them, though.
Buzz,
Yes, Dr.
the
Goggin.
University of Michigan,
Go blue.
Correct.
Loyola Chicago.
Correct.
Gosh.
Kansas.
Point to Dr. Shapiro.
Oh, yeah, I guess it is Kansas. And then, oh. I just blanked.
I'll give you a hint. You might know the PBS science program, NOVA. Think along those lines.
Villanova?
Villanova is correct!
I was going to say that, but then I thought, no,
Yep.
thinking of someone else.
I can sing Hail to the Victors. Would that get me a point?
I don't think we'll do that right now. 3 Midwestern teams and a Pennsylvania team. It's interesting. Maybe the Midwest is coming back to
Maybe.
dominate the world as one would think.
As it ought.
As it ought to do, exactly. We could you call our basketball team the Villanova of the Midwest?
I don't know if you'd want to.
Maybe not this year. All right, let's move on to question 3. Netflix has revolutionized the way we interact with television, including how we reboot our most beloved TV shows. What 2003 TV show was rebooted in February to rave reviews? I'll give you another hint. It is not Scooby-Doo.
Sorry.
All right. If I stand here and we drew a line through me, Dr. Shapiro, and Dr. Goggin, it would be
Painful.
true, but it would also be straight.
Oh, Queer Eye for the Straight Guy.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the one. Now it is called Queer Eye. They shortened it down because that's the internet's attention span these days. It's been receiving excellent reviews, including a near 100 rating on Rotten Tomatoes, which is unheard of. Unless your Jaws 4, and then you have a 0% rating. Question number 4. Most of the time, science fiction conjures up images of Star Wars and Star Trek, but other franchises are not above stealing the spotlight. What sci-fi movie starring Star Wars star came out just last Friday?
Star Wars star.
Yes, a star of Star Wars.
Last.
I got nothing.
All right. Well, I'm just going to give it to you. With the ever-popular John Boyega at the helm, Pacific Rim Uprising, released last Friday to continue the story from the previous installment of 2013. I hope it's better, honestly. All right, let's move on to question 5. Businesses have been complaining about the economy for forever, because that's what businesses do, but it can still shock and horrify us when industry giants fail. What major store recently announced bankruptcy and a complete shutdown of all stores?
Buzz.
Oh, I'm not sure. Let's answer at the same time.
Toys R Us.
Yes, both of you got it. We can split the points or give them 2 points, however we want to score that. Though the much beloved for its large variety of toys, Toys R Us declared bankruptcy without informing any of its employees. Even more depressing, the founder of the company died last Thursday. I hope the giraffe can find work elsewhere. You both have children who probably would have grown up in the golden age of Toys R Us.
Yeah.
Do you have any fond memories of Toys R Us?
No.
No.
All sad memories,
Place to
huh?
shop.
No, it's just, yeah.
We didn't have one in Kirksville, so
No,
there
Columbia.
there was no economy hit here. All right, let's move on to question 6 in international news. So I hope we're all very cultured and knowledgeable about what's going on all over the world. The engagement of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle has caused a great stir in the United Kingdom, and every detail is just as televised as any American celebrity in the United Kingdom. What part of their wedding planning did they just finish that really excited the country?
Buzz?
Yes.
The invitations?
Yes, they finished mailing their 600 invitations, and apparently that's international news.
I didn't get mine. I was very
Yeah.
disappointed.
They were,
That's
yes.
why I didn't know that.
Too bad. I think I was on the short list of about 1,000, but I didn't make the final cut to 600. 600 invitations to the wedding and the lunchtime reception. They're so pretentious that they're having 2 receptions, one for the common folk and one for only 200 people that they've invited to in the evening.
Well, that's what we did. Isn't that what you did?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never gotten married,
that's
so I don't know much about how that stuff works.
We actually went to Vegas.
We had
It was
our brunch
awesome.
first. Yeah.
I wonder if they'll go to Vegas.
I should go to Vegas. It was great. And then all my friends did drive-through weddings afterwards,
Oh, wow.
just for fun.
Oh.
That's a great way to get married,
Nice.
just for fun.
Well, most of them were getting remarried,
Oh, okay.
but they were there. They figured they might as well.
This is a place I don't have any experience in at all, having never been married and never been to Las Vegas. So, let's move to question 7. In a city without Major League Baseball since 2004, where did they host the Blue Jays and the Cardinals in a 2-game series this week? Bonus point, what is that city's team? Former team.
That would be a hint.
Yes, it would.
My son will be very disappointed at
The
me that I
hint-
don't know this.
The hint is that they had to make announcements in both English and French.
Montreal. Buzz.
He said it, then he buzzed.
Yeah.
Now, what's the real answer?
Montreal.
Montreal, yes. Montreal, Quebec, being home of the Expos for a long time. Montreal, Canada hosted the opposing bird teams, the Cardinals and the Blue Jays. Funny how they worked that out. For the fourth year in a row, though, the city has not had a team since 2005. Their previous team was the Expos, not named after the markers. Although, I'm sure they wish they could have erased some of those horrible records they put up in their early years.
Plus, they get their team names wrong because Maple Leafs, it really should be Maple Leaves, right?
It's that's over in Toronto, and I'm not sure they care about grammar. Unfortunately. Let's move on to question 8. In the midst of all the discussion about guns, gun manufacturers are not having a good time, and they're making the news outside of the context of shootings and protests. What did gun manufacturer Remington do to get into the news this week?
It filed for bankruptcy.
They did file for bankruptcy. In the midst of protest, Remington, one of the oldest gun manufacturers in America, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. They were shot through the heart, and it's possible they were too late. Too bad they couldn't defend themselves against the economy. No one.
They're still going to make guns, though.
Probably.
It's just a maneuver.
Yes.
I'm from upstate New York, and Remington is from upstate New York, and I was sort of disturbed to hear that. So close in proximity. It was a little scary. I hope I don't have to file for bankruptcy too soon, but I might. I got a lot of life ahead of me, hopefully. All right, let's move on to question 9. Though guns have been a major political movement at the moment, Senators Mitch McConnell and Rand Paul have been making very different plans. What are they trying to legalize again?
Again.
I'll give you a hint. Someone who was very uninformed on this topic might think they were trying to legalize dandelions. Which
Weed?
Yes, weed or marijuana or cannabis or whatever you want to call it.
Mitch McConnell wants to legalize weed?
Yes,
what I'm
because it
not
will help the
getting.
economy of Kentucky and anything
A different
that's-
weed than tobacco.
Yes. Though some states have legalized the plant's use as a drug, industrial hemp is still illegal in most of the United States, which seems backwards to me. But McConnell and Paul have announced plans to push another bill to work on the plant's industrial uses. Now, only if they could be more like Colorado. And one of my favorite things about Colorado is that the name of their governor is Hickenlooper. And if that doesn't sound like the name of the first governor, the governor of the first state to legalize marijuana, I don't know what does sound like. All right, so headed into the long-form question round, we have Dr. Shapiro leading at 14,000,001 to Dr. Goggin's 14 million. All right. Let's move into the round form section. The final round can change everything. There are multiple points up for grabs here. In this round, there will be no buzzing in. Each team will be given a problem from the other set of disciplines, such as the common cold or what makes a poem a poem. Then you have to solve it using your own discipline and a little humor, of course. Their argument, I like more, earns their team a whopping 200 points. Due to budget cuts, we won't be able to give out the full million points. Thank you to the Missouri State Legislature for that. So we will start with Dr. Shapiro in the humanities side, since you are in the... Despite all our advances in neuroscience, we still don't have a clear answer on why we have to sleep. I mean, some of us students just don't have to. There are a lot of theories and a lot of things that happen during sleep, but we've never had an answer for why humans sleep and some other animals don't. How can humanities help us answer this question? Despite all our advances in neuroscience, we still don't have a clear answer on why we have to sleep. I mean, some of us students just don't have to. There are a lot of theories and a lot of things that happen during sleep, but we've never had an answer for why humans sleep and some other animals don't. How can humanities help us answer this question?
I'm supposed to answer with the other team's disciplines?
Yes.
So then, with my disciplines, with the humanities, okay. So, because that's too bad, because I was going to go Heisenberg principle on until you look in the bed, you never know whether my kid is both sleeping and not sleeping at the same time.
That would be good.
But humanities, I think that in order to have art and music, we have to be constantly working and exercising our imaginations. And dreams are an excellent way of doing that. The synapses are firing, and we get all these random, weird juxtapositions that make you go, why did I dream that? And make you come up with explanations, and they force your imagination to work out in ways that I think are essential to human spirit and our sense of satisfaction in life. Not to mention the fact that we would have just fall over if we didn't sleep. So practical reasons, but also deep, deep reasons.
Such a well thought out answer. I really appreciate it. I think,
In the humanities, we are taught to BS.
yes, as I have done in many a humanities class, I will assure you.
Valuable skill.
I've
Don't
heard
tell
that.
any of my professors. All right, STEM team, Dr. Goggins, from the physics squad, if we will. Despite the way we think of language, linguists have long had the question of how do you define a word? For example, do space-filling sounds like that one right there count, or can a prefix or a suffix be counted as its own word? That sort of thing. How can the STEM fields help us find the answer to this question?
In many respects, Claude Shannon's already answered that. He came up with the theory of information.
Who's Claude Shannon?
Claude Shannon was a mathematician who worked at Bell Labs
All right.
in the middle of the 20th century and came up with a theory of information that defined it in terms of symbols and bits and things like that. However, he specifically said that the meaning of the words were irrelevant, or the meaning of the information was irrelevant. It was just the rate of exchange of the bits that was the important thing, given his job.
So you heard it here first on BullyDogs. Science says everything is irrelevant. And based on that, I'm going to declare today's game a tie. Congratulations to Dr. Shapiro and Dr. Goggin. It's been a wonderful episode of BullyDogs. Thank you for watching our second episode. I'm your host, Nick Telep, and I hope you tune in next time. Bye-bye.